going like in and out because we're live. Welcome to Earth 2 Comic Cast with no, we're live now. Welcome to Earth 2 Comic Cast with superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm. We are back again on another Sunday to bring you Cloak and Dagger. We've missed 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks happened to be Easter and then Avengers and Game of Thrones week, and now we're free. You know, time is freed up, and we're here. So we're here to give you another week of Cloak and Dagger. We're actually going to combine those 3 episodes that we missed the East that to in this one cast, and we're going to try to get through it as quickly as possible, but we're also going to be as comprehensive as possible. The 3 episodes we missed are Rabbit Hole, Alignment Chart, and B-Sides. Really 3 really good episodes, really strong episodes. I believe these are the episodes that, you know, before all the shit starts to go down, because I feel like we needed the way the show started, it started on a high note. And so it kind of had to drop down a little bit to, you know, to like ease you in, because I feel like we're getting to the shit moving past these episodes. These were also like very family oriented episodes, very tight, you know, character. And what I really do love about this show is how what I really do love about this show is the way it handles its characters, and it gives you perspectives and it gives you sides. And matter of fact, the last episode that we'll be talking about is B-side, so you're definitely going to get to see what I'm talking about in that point. So we can just get right into it. Oh, we're missing one person, Keem. Her birthday was on Monday, so you know she's still celebrating, or she has family over, so she's probably gonna come in at some point. But till she comes in, Brianna and myself are gonna do this thing. You ready, Bree?
Yes. What's up?
All right. So Rabbit Hole, let me give you the synopsis for that. The synopsis goes: still on the quest to find out more about the sex trafficking ring, Tandy takes a dangerous trip to find Mayhem, who may have the answers. She needs Tyrone's past actions catch up to him and put Adina in harm's way. Adina is his mother. This was a really good. It was. I wouldn't say really good. I just say really interesting one, because this is we get to see. I think Brianna was really excited about this one because she wanted one thing to happen in this episode, and in a way she was kind of disappointed. But I think we still, regardless of how it happened, we still like the episode, right, Brie?
No, I love the episode. I just really wanted Connors to look like just this shriveled up person, and he looked fine. I mean, he was hairy, but whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully inside.
Yes, hopefully. But so this episode opens up with Tandy and Ty still talking about the missing girls. Oh no, did it open up in a police station? Or they were talking about
it opens up when they get back to the church, and Tandy's like, "What the fuck was that?" And Ty is like, "I don't really know, but that's where Connors is. She's technically inside me, but not really inside me in the dimension or whatever." And so that's when Tandy's like, "I need to go get her. She knows where all the girls are. I need to go get her." And he's like, "I don't know how to open it up." I'm like, "You gotta fucking scare your shit ass bitch up." And so she does.
And I know, and the way she did it, I believe, in my opinion, was very interesting, because it's like she can't really scare him, right? But she has to do things to scare him. Like, it's like you have to push your friendship because they have this friendship and this relationship, but you have to push the boundaries of it to be able to scare someone like that. And she kind of did
physically scare him either. It's like emotionally.
Yes, it was very psychological, and I like that. And she walks into his shadow. I almost called it a nether realm. His shadow.
I like calling it the dark dimension. I'm pretty sure that's
dark dimension. That's probably what it is, to be honest.
I think that's what they call it.
Okay, great. So she goes in there, and she's on this quest to find him. And so while she's doing that, the B side of to find Bridget, and the flip side of it is Ty, you know, finds out that because of what they did, or we go to the police station, and then the police are like, "Hey, look," one of the cops is like, "Why are you arresting the girls?"
No.
And yeah, because
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly says to one of the cops who's arresting the girls, like, "Why are you arresting the girls?" And he's like, "Well, they still are criminals, and if we arrest them, they'll probably flip on the gang." I'm like, "Yo, this is." these girls have just gone through, like, in my opinion, the worst thing they could go through in their lives, and this is how you're gonna treat them. And
They
you're
were
gonna
forced
arrest
into
them.
prostitution,
Exactly.
and then they're going to get arrested for
Exactly. It's
prostitution.
not like they wanted to do it; they were forced into it. So you want them to. It was just very weird. I hated it. I hated that scene. But when we got there, we found out one of the guys had seen Tyrone's face and called out to the people still outside. And how did Tyrone figure out they were going for his mom again? I forgot that part.
O'Reilly calls him and lets him know.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we go ahead.
Before that is when they show Tandy go into the dimension, and she
Right.
sees baby Ty. And so, like, we were wrong about the Fuchs thing. Apparently, it was just the Crossroads person being like, "Yep, this is
Right.
it. Welcome.
Is
I'm
yeah,
just gonna be like,
this is how you're gonna see me, or this is this is your representation of what I am. You can call. He had like 12,000 names, Papa Legba. He had a lot of names.
Papa Legba, I think was one of them. And I want to say they mentioned that before, but I can't remember. But that's when he was like, "Yeah, you need to get out. You need to go through." And O'Reilly, the other one, couldn't go out because she was only half a person.
Right.
And that's when Tandy needed to give up her daggers.
And what's crazy about that is we get also on the flip side of that, we go to Ty. Ty goes home. He's like, "Yo, Ma, like, we need to get out." And walking, of course, he didn't walk in the house. He cloaked in, and when he did that, his mom, being scared of everything that's happened,
gun out.
pulled this gun out, and she pulled it on him. And he's like, "Mom, it's me, it's me." And hey, man, you almost shot me. But so for Tandy giving up her daggers, flip side is Tyrone's. Tyrone had to give up his cloak, and so the guys come in the house, or the gang comes to the house, and he can't cloak away. They have to actually now book it, start running, and so he's going through what he's going through on top side, and she's going through what she's going through in the dark dimension. But what she's going through is more of the emotional thing. I mean, they're both going through emotional journeys, both themselves, but her emotional journey in the dark dimension was crazy.
Shit was sad.
Was like, oh my god! This is the worst thing. It's like she has this picture of her dad, right? So all this season, she's from the first season, she had this picture of her dad being like, the greatest dad in the world.
Well, last season.
Towards the end of the season, she finds out that her dad, was not that great. And this season, she's finding out more things. Her mom is going through therapy, and she's finding out things. But then you fast forward to what happens in this was it the record store when she finds.
Well, before that, it was the mirrors, where she sees like everyone she could have been.
Yes,
and the ballerina and the scientist.
And it's just so sad because it's like, then you go back to the first season and see how her life went off rails and what happened for her life to go off rails and how she has missed so much of her life. And it goes full circle into this episode, which I really, really like how they dealt with it. And so do we have to keep going flip side, or do you just want to do one person's story and then come back and do the other person's story?
We can do that because I want to talk about those records and how she knew what all those records were. And those unwrapped ones, she was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because the entire time she's like in terms of her dad, she's like, she didn't know, and then she does know, and that's why she's like, trying to help her mom with the therapy, and then she listens to these records that are her life before, and turns out she did fucking know.
Yes,
but
and it's really beautiful how they show it because it's like, as a kid, you kind of block these images out because you want your dad to be the perfect dad, or you want your mom to be the perfect mom. And you see, I think in one of them, she was in a car, dad and mom were arguing. She puts on her headphones.
That was on the couch at home.
Okay,
she just turns her music up. And she's
turns the music up and blocks everything out. And then there's another one, she's getting ready to leave the house with her mom, and her mom, I think, forgets something in the house, goes back to get it. They're at the door. She goes back towards, farther in the house to get it, and she sees her mom, and her mom and dad start arguing again, and she opens the door to walk out.
She just fucking leaves. Her parents are fighting. She just fucking leaves. Yeah, I mean, she's a kid, and I'm not blaming her, but it's just sad. And I think this whole time Tandy was like, "Oh, I didn't know. I had no idea. They hid it from me." But they didn't, and she's That's
And yeah,
some hard shit. Like, it's always been there, and she's been there.
and you just blocked it out. And this show just touches on like trauma very great, because literally this is what happens in real life. I think kids tend to block things out of their minds. You tend to remember things later in your life, and you're like, oh wow, that really happened to me. And this, I really love how they did that with her. And so she's still in the records. Didn't she get mad and almost smash one of the records?
She got mad when she saw her little self just walk out the door, because
Yes.
her little self didn't have headphones on yet. I don't in that scene, so like she heard
Mm-mm.
it all. She just walked
Yeah.
out and didn't care. Not
And I
didn't
think,
care, but it was probably just normal.
but it was
For
just,
her.
yeah, just like a normal kid shit. Like, oh, I'm just gonna walk out. Mom and dad are probably just talking really loud. I'm just gonna walk out, and when she's done, she's gonna come.
Like she's just
Uh,
pissed.
yeah. So the next thing that happens there is, Bridget. Wait, so Bridget is the good one. No, Bridget is bad. O'Reilly's good. Bridget, she's with Bridget this whole time, and Bridget kind of like dips out on her. Right. I'm gonna cut it off right there, so we can go back and talk about Ty for a quick second, because
Okay.
what happens moving forward with Bridget and what happens is just great, and we can't like rush into it. So Ty is like running. Like, first of all, he runs away with his mom, and they find where they go to a.
Well, the
Yep.
gangs are searching for them, so they run out, and this is like the first time him and his mom have been together this entire season.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck? I'm a grown up. I've been handling myself. Like, apparently not. You're supposed to be out of this fucking city. And
Yes.
they're running, and they find the church, the vampire nuns church.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
And
weren't they on the tram first?
hmm?
And then I think one of the guys, when they're on the tram, and then one of the guys like spotted them on the tram, and then
The one that Ty saved,
Yeah.
bitch ass boy.
But look, man, he just.
I get it, but he's still bitch ass boy.
Yes, he is. But I mean, at the end of the day, he didn't shoot. I think he was the one who kind of called the gang and told them where they were, regardless. But I think he just had to do what he had to do. He's he's a lost soul. He's just.
I get it.
I think
he's a lost soul.
the thing is, if you look at him and you look at Ty, I believe he and Ty are. If Ty's brother was still alive, he would be like, that would be what Ty is, because that he looked up to his brother.
If his brother was still,
if his brother was still alive and wasn't again, yeah. So it's a very very tricky situation, but they handled Ty and his mom really well. And so now we get to the church, and I think we can, Ty is like, look, man, mom, you got to go. The cops are here. They want me. They don't want you. They're going to come in here and they're going to fuck shit up. They're going to probably start shooting. If they're going to shoot, let them shoot me. You got to go. I can't, da 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 da. And O'Reilly comes in and tells him, like, yo, they are here.
We can't pass over the coolest thing Ty has ever done.
Go ahead.
Okay, when
snatching the gun out. That's not even that cool
he's ever done. Especially when last season he couldn't like run away or be stealthy enough, and then in this season he just snatches the gun, like not even fucking giving a shit. That was the coolest thing he's ever done.
I think because he's over it. He's just tired of everything. He's done.
He's like, you're a fucking kid. Everything. You're me.
Like yeah. Give me that gun. You're not gonna do nothing with it.
And his mom just being like, I just want to see him grow up, trying to appeal to the kid, and like that kid was scared. He did not know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, he didn't know what. In both situations, when he was, when we met him the first 2 weeks ago, and then when we met him in this episode, he just looked lost in both episodes. He just was trying to, make somebody happy, and
he was
that's
a kid.
Very sad, because that's what usually will happen. And so O'Reilly comes in and says, look, I can't talk them out. I can't talk them down. They are going to come in here to look for you, because, you're. And I'm like, yo, this is kind of excessive. It was a SWAT team. It was a whole bunch of, like, for, I'm like, yo, for a 16, 17, maybe 15-year-old, like, come on now. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. But they come in. The rest of the gang, because they see the cops run, they come in. And now we can go back to the dark dimension.
So Tandy finds Bridget, where they found all those cloaks.
Yes.
All them bitches. And Bridget is fucking Connor up. And Connor like, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't give a shit. Fuck yeah. And he's trying to choke him. And then Tandy comes and saves him, because hero and all that good shit, I guess.
Right. Didn't
I guess.
she use her? Didn't she? Wasn't she able to use her dagger at that point? She grabbed her.
Yeah, I mean, she was always able to use her dagger. It's just that she was not supposed to, and she knew
Yeah,
that. But she
exactly.
did, and that's
As
when.
soon as soon as she uses it, we get a big kind of like rumble explosion type thing. Boom, poof, everyone is back. Well, everyone except Bridget.
Frigid. So
Yeah,
Ty can
so
close back
everyone,
to the church to safety while the cops are trying to kill
yeah.
him. And then they're both in the church.
And he's getting arrested. I thought he was getting arrested right there, to be honest.
I thought so too. I thought that would happen. And
I'm
then
like, yeah, it was sad.
they're both in the church and they're like, "What the fuck happened, Tandy?" And then the next thing you know, Connors is dipping out the window. He's like,
He
"What
just
the fuck?"
booked. And when he ran, I'm like, oh shit! Like now it's like it's gonna be so bad for Ty at this point. Like, come on, like he can't catch a break. I was
He
like, yo,
really
this
can't. And then
like he can't catch a break.
I felt bad
And
too because like right after that, like Ty is like, "What the fuck did you do in there? Like that's all you did? You didn't even get Bridget. You got Connors out of all out of the two people that you could have gotten out. You got Connors out." And then Tandy is just still emotional from all the shit she just learned.
from yes,
And
oh
she's
man,
just
she
pissed and
went through
mad
a
at
lot.
herself and just I mean, this is next episode shit, but like
Yeah. So yeah, next episode shit, alignment chart. Tyrone is faced with a hard decision when presented with an opportunity to clear his name. Tandy lets her anger get the best of her as she becomes frustrated with a possible dead end to the investigation into the sex trafficking ring. Alignment chart, again, another good episode. So you follow up what happens in the last episode with this episode. And to again, Brianna was disappointed with the look, but we finally get a different. Okay, so never mind. Let's talk about it because at the beginning of the episode, we see Connor's like digging up something, like he's digging up like
he like counts
something,
his paces
and
and shit.
I'm like, yo, he's about to really like. In my mind, I'm like, oh, he's gonna gear up and come back for Ty. Like that's what he's doing. But when we find out what he was digging up and what he was doing, I wasn't even expecting that. I think I don't know if this made you happy, if this is exactly what you wanted, Bree, but I was satisfied when I saw him and Ty at the docks when they met up at the docks again, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I want to give up. You can like." I'm like, "Huh? Who is this guy?"
I mean, like a part of me was happy, sure, because that's good, but like the other part of me wanted him to be like
And
malnourished
then
more, maybe, maybe a
he
little bit.
lost weight, kind
No,
of.
he
Well,
didn't.
full beard.
He grew a beard. He grew like 0.1% of a pound with that beard. And that was it. Okay. He grew I just wanted him to look more fucked up. And I know
Striver was
inside he
like
was.
dead. Oh no, he was dead inside because we find out that he so again we get two sides, so we get two stories again in this episode. We get two sides of what I love again because
Everything is parallels and it's
you
beautiful.
exactly, and it's beautiful. um so I do want to talk about Ty first because his
Okay.
I feel like his story was the A story in this episode. Tandy was the A story last episode. I think he's the A story this episode. So he finds Connors, and Connors is like, "Look, this is the gun that I used to kill
Well,
your brother."
first, he's pissed at Tandy and they have a little fight and they split up and he's like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they
fucking
split
find
up.
Connors. I'll let you know when
Oh
I
my
have
God.
something.
Yeah,
And
she's like,
he tries to let her know, but he does the no, he goes to
no,
O'Reilly.
no, no. He does. No, he didn't. Then he draw the veve on the ground with the gun, with the bullets,
Okay, yes.
gunpowder, and he lit it up. And he's like, "I need justice to find Connors." And it lights up, it blows up, and it cloaks him to the docks where Connors is. Oh no, Connors wasn't there. And then behind him, Connors pops up, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's dead." Like, you dummy! Why would you go there?
I mean, he didn't know. He just needed to go to Connors. Okay, it's not like he was like,
Right.
"Oh, let me pop up to the
I'm
docks."
like, oh my God, this is so dumb. He's about to die right here. And when we see him and Connor's the confrontation, I was not expecting that. I was expecting like, where have you been? Like, what have you been doing? Like some Batman type shit. Like I was expecting Cloak to come back out
Batman type
like
shit.
full, like, yeah, like seriously, like, why did you say her name? Like shit like that.
I can't even remember
But
the brother's name.
Connors is just being a bitch. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. This is the gun, and then if you look at it, this is some other railing that I touched after I shot your brother or before something
No,
that got cut up
the railing
for another
that he
crime.
the railing that he cuts off is the piece of railing that Tyrone touches, and that is the pipe that Connors uses to beat Fuchs up with.
Oh yeah, that was how they that was the crime. That was the crime right there. So yeah, so it was like, yeah, this is all of it. I promise. Like you just just take it all, take me in. And I'm like, huh?
It's fucking
Not
weird.
expecting it. Yeah. And then so much so that Tyrone decides if I'm left alone with you, right, I will kill you. So let me take you to other people that will
Wouldn't you
probably
know?
huh?
Wouldn't you want
I would
to?
have. I would have. I don't think I would have taken, but I understand. Like, you know what? First, let me try to clear my name. But you know what? Whatever. We here are not gonna Tyrone's because now it's evident that they are living separate lives. His mom and dad. His yeah. And so we get to and then he knocks on the door and the dad opens it because we see the dad making new cloak. He knocks on the door. Dad opens the door. That was what he was making.
No, I just remembered something, but never mind. Go on.
Oh,
Go on.
okay. Dad opens the door and Tyrone pops. Like Connors pops up at the door. Is like he grabs him, dumps him on the ground. Is like trying to beat him up, and Tyrone is like, "No, no, Dad, wait, just hold on, hold on. It's not even like that." And I'm like, this is just weird because now Tyrone's dad just sees Connors in front of him. All you can see two things is the one who killed my first son and the one who caused my family the most grief because now my family's all separate and mom is living somewhere. Dad, like, yo, this is all your fault. And I mean, I would again if I was dad, I would kill the shit out of him. Uh, and he's like, nah, like it's not even like that. I know everything you guys need to bring me down, but to bring me down because of the people that have my back, my uncle and the powers that be, you need to take them down along with me, and I know how to help you do that. And he comes up with this elaborate plan. You have to cloak into this country club.
You
What was
think
the
he
name of
could
the
just?
club called?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's just where his uncle gets naked and doesn't have the keys. So he just needs to click and get the keys so he can get the wine bottle full of documents. And then the wine bottle is fucking
It was
empty.
empty. And so Ty is mad. Cloak's back. He knocks on the door, and in my mind, I'm like, yo, I wouldn't. If I was dad, I was like, I'm not gonna answer that because that's like a loud. First of all, that's a cop knock. Like you don't
It's a
answer
cop
that.
knock.
They don't like banging on the door. And I'm like, I wouldn't answer that. And as soon as they answer it, just like I said,
Wait.
cloak. Go ahead.
At one point in Ty's story, he goes to O'Reilly for help, and she's like, I can't fucking do it. I'm weak.
Right.
I can't even shoot straight. And then that's when he's like, I wish the other Bridget O'Reilly was
Yo,
here. That was harsh.
like we're just getting cold lines. Like everyone is giving cold lines in
Everyone's
this
just
in this
mad in this
episode.
episode.
Yes, this was a very angry episode. You're right.
Like
But
everyone was split
somehow
up.
O'Reilly does kind of do it. She
She does.
becomes
She goes
O'Reilly.
to Bridget's apartment and like just sits there
Yes.
and she's like fusing. He's like, I gotta do something, blah blah blah, and like she's not as
It's
soulless,
tough.
yeah,
Yes.
or as tough as the other one, but like she does something, and I was just
Yeah,
like,
and I was like, okay. Like almost fooled me into thinking Bridget was back for a second. Because I'm
yeah,
watching it and I text you, I was like, yo, is Bridget back? And you're like, no, Bridget isn't back. That's definitely O'Reilly. And so I was like, okay, so she manned up. The bottle was empty, there were no documents. Ty's mad. Cloak's
the
back,
knocking.
knocks on the door. Cloak's around. It's like, yo, the only reason I took you there was because I didn't want to kill you. And you lied to me. You trying to get me killed. Da 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 da. Like angry. I forget what happens at the end to Connors though.
So when he's doing that and he's all angry, that's when like Ty goes into Connors's fear, and that's when like he sees Connors in like the fear part or whatever part that we're calling it, and he's just like putting handcuffs on, but it keeps dropping off, and he just over and over,
Yeah.
and it's just a pile of handcuffs that just aren't working because it's Connors and he has like uncles and family that just
Yeah, all the people that
lets him out. And there's also like someone holding like a justice person, with the scales. And there's like a heart and the gun.
Right.
And Connor's heart is like ripped out on there. And for once, the heart. And that's when Ty is like, shit.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna ask you, did you like that for Connors? Like, did you like that went to a storyline? Did that satisfy you? Because again, forget him being malnourished. We know how you wanted him to be a skinny bastard. But how did you feel about him?
It was good. It was still good. It was probably more realistic in terms of telling a good story than what I would have wanted. But that's just because I really wanted him to suffer more.
You wanted him to suffer and be in the corner all day, like, oh my God, like shivering. Like, I mean, yes. I am with you on that. If he was like that when we found him,
he could literally confess and tell the cops, yeah, I did it. Here's the gun. I used it. And he would still get off.
And that was the imagery they showed when Ty went into his fear. And that was really dope.
He could literally put the handcuffs on himself and it would not fucking matter.
Right. And now the fun part of the story, the so while Ty was a little like kind of like a spy with his, we get like, so we said everyone is angry in this episode. Tandy is angry to the max in this episode.
She's angry at herself. She's angry at her mom. She's angry at everybody.
Everybody. And the way she decides to deal with it is she wants to go keep looking for the girls.
She's just distracting herself. Because she failed. She failed to get O'Reilly for the girls. And now she's just... Okay. Also, throughout this episode, there is Tandy in the nice white dress, all nice, telling a story about the farmer and the viper.
Yes.
And so that's happening throughout the episode. And throughout the episode, there's like little tints when it's her. And it's like blue and red. And I thought that was like my TV fucking up, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
I was just like, is my TV fucking up? Like, is Hulu okay? But it wasn't. But anyways, so Tandy's fucking pissed. And she goes to her mom. Because her mom was worried.
And again, like you said, this Tandy doesn't know how to handle what's going on with her. She doesn't want to talk to anyone really. Or she distracts herself with her mission. She goes to her mom because her mom was worried. She kind of got angry at her mom again, which I mean, I kind of understand and I want to sympathize with her, but I'm like, yo, you are doing this the wrong way. You're going about all of this the wrong way. Like
it's
yelling at your mom.
Not the most empathetic.
Yes.
Like it doesn't take into account how like psychologically like she keeps telling mom, no, when you hurt someone you just leave and that's how easy it is, but like it's like literally not working like that at all.
How about you? You forgot what happened.
Yeah, and like she felt so mad at herself for like she knew and she didn't do shit either. And like I think she's just taking all the anger that she has on herself onto everyone else. And like her mom just caught like the worst of it. And like she wasn't even, it didn't help that her mom like took 2 drinks when she's supposed to be sober.
Right.
That definitely just did not help.
But the thing about Tandy is I feel like she's also taking out the fact that she couldn't help, especially couldn't help her mom. So now she's trying to help the girls. So now that she can do something, she wants to do something for the girls. And so she goes back to the lady who's supposed to be running the
she goes to Andre first.
Isn't that the lady who's running the group?
She goes to Andre and be like, hey.
Oh,
and that's when he's like, oh yeah, it turns out like I got lawyers for all these girls so that they can get help and blah blah blah. And I'm getting help for these girls because I'm a great guy. Apparently an angel in a shadow helps them,
Right.
And Tandy wants to ask the girls some questions so she can figure out like what the fuck happened. And he's like, that's not really appropriate. And like, can I just know someone who knows something? And that's how she gets to Leah.
And then he points her to Leah, right? And so Leah tells her about this dude, her ex, who just was this bad guy, and he put her in this because. Go ahead.
Tandy talks to Leah about her ex.
Oh no! Wait. So who? Yes. Tandy talks to Leah about her ex. I think she was. At first, I thought she was talking about her ex from season 1. Was he even her ex? Was he really her ex, or was it just a guy? I think he was an ex, right?
I would be calling that an ex with those wedding imagery.
Oh yeah, yeah, right,
They
right.
were
So
definitely together, even if she didn't want
I
to admit
thought
it.
I thought she was talking about him.
I think she
Um,
was.
I don't think he was bad, but you're right. She was talking about him, but she made up in my mind. She made up this story. She went overboard with it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it was just so she could get Leah's sympathy.
And the imagery she sold Leah was she had called Ty. One of the times when I think because they both said, "Oh, if I have something, I'll call you." I think Ty told her, "If I have something, I'll call you." And she's like, "If I you whatever." And so Ty meets up with her, and she makes a scene out of it again for Ty's just like, "Yo, why is that lady watching us?" And she blows it up,
Well,
and
she
Ty's
doesn't
like,
really blow it up as much as
"She
Ty is
did
pissed that Tandy is making him look like this abusive ex or abusive boyfriend when he's already on
right."
the run from cops. And she's just gonna invite this person who works with battered girls and probably is closely
Yeah,
related to cops. And
because I think she said something to make it look, and so Ty's pissed. So she blew it up in my opinion. She said something to make it look away, and Ty just goes over the top, of course, which I understand why he did that. I mean, he's like, "Yo, why would you do that to me?" I'm like, "Yo, first of all, it's like I'm like your only friend here. Like, why are you doing this?"
but also she didn't clue him in on shit. She literally on the phone call that got him there could have just been
Right,
like, "Hey, I need you to act like blah blah blah," and like, and so like he would have known that like that's why this woman is watching. It's to
right,
help the
right,
girls. But he didn't do none of
right.
that. She didn't do none of that, and she
And
didn't
that,
explain none of it. She was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna talk to you real quick and make it seem like it," and that's
but
why
maybe
Ty got
did she
pissed because
need it
like,
to
why
be?
would you want
Did
to get
she need it
tricked?
to be real? Did she
Hmm?
need it to look real? Because if she told him, does Ty look like he can act that way?
I
Because that's
mean,
what I'm going with it. But I mean, still, you're right. It would be nice to be included in
he
what's about to
probably
be.
felt real manipulated, and it was like right after like she let Connors out. And he doesn't
Yeah,
know what she's been going through. Like, she didn't say
no,
nothing about like
but
the records.
she's not talking to him. She's not like this is
They're
this
not
is again.
talking. Every time they don't
They're
talk,
not
shit goes
talking.
wrong.
Yes, and so the lady's like, oh, and then she now tells him. She now tells Tandy. So Tandy walks over to her
Well,
and
he's like,
now
the way you're acting, maybe I don't fucking need you.
yes,
And that's
and
how
so
they
she
leave
goes.
that shit. And that's why she starts
And that
crying.
is so sad. That is so sad, and she starts crying. And I feel like she was actually really crying because that is her friend,
I mean, she
or that
fucked
is
up.
her only friend, and she fucked up. But she needed to fuck up because she needed it to look real for Leah. And Leah tells her about her ex who's bad and sold her into prostitution and all this good thing, good not good things, but all these things. And Tandy's like, "Where is he?" And she goes, and then there's this fight. And at the end of the fight, she walks out, and when she walks out, Leah's there. I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting. I was like, what the fuck are you doing there? What the
Zzz,
fuck?
like
Well, also
drop.
Tandy was on like her high horse, thinking she actually fucking did something helpful for
Did
once.
something. And she's like, oh, I did something. And she does give a speech. She's like,
She just
finally.
did her little fucking speech. And honestly, like rewatching that episode when she's beating up that guy that's supposed to be Leah's ex,
Right.
he's clueless about the girls.
Yes, very clueless.
He didn't even know what the fuck she was
All he does
talking
is
about.
sell weed. All he does is sell weed. Like make weed
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty
like
sure
grow
like all
weed
he
and
does is
sell.
sell weed. Like it had I mean, maybe he's worse. Like, who knows? I wouldn't
But he
put
had
money on
no
like
clue as
he's
to
an
why she
angel.
was beating him
Yeah.
up though. Like
He had no
that's the
idea.
worst part about it. Yeah, that's the worst
She
part
was
about
like
it.
she's like she didn't even do that well, by the way. Like she kinda got her ass kicked
Yeah,
too.
she kind of got her ass kicked because when she got sprayed with whatever, like in her
With
eye,
pepper spray or whatever. Like she wasn't as smooth as she usually is. And it's
and
probably because
again,
like everything was all
it's
fucked up and
she was
stuff.
she was definitely fucked up in the head, so she wasn't thinking straight. And that happens when that happens. That's kind of what happens. And so
She goes
the
to
end of
Leah.
the episode ends with
Her
Leah
fucking
shocking.
speech though. Can we just
Yeah,
please
her
talk about her fucking speech about like, you don't have to worry about him anymore. I got him.
finally.
You gotta
We can
refuse
get
to be
back.
the victim. We gotta take away their power. The power. You gotta take away the power. We gotta refuse to be a victim and we gotta escape strong.
Okay.
And then she sees an ambulance and she's like, what the fuck? And then she gets tased.
Yeah, Leah tases her down, drops
Fucking
her.
ass chased.
I was like, wow. First of all, I didn't see Leah being an asshole. Like, damn, like, it's kind of cold because you are using your girls that come to you for this to like this is so cold. That's like Leah might be the worst bad person in the history of bad persons on in Cloak and Dagger. Like she might be, in my opinion, she might be worse than. I want to say she's worse than Connors.
Connors, you
I,
knew what you were getting.
yes, she is
It's like it's
because
not like
oh
anything subtle. Like it's
my
like he's a bad guy.
god,
He was like the
yes,
guy you love to hate, but like Leah, it's like she's supposed to be helping these girls, and really
helping
she's
and
not.
yeah, she's using them, and it's horrible. And so we we leave that, and so that's the end of that episode. Next episode is B sides. Uh,
Oh wait,
B, yeah,
the fucking
oh,
red and
yeah,
blue
and then
lights
the
for
red,
the
yeah, red and
ambulance.
blue lights. Yeah, yeah, that's right. So the scene ends, and then we finally get to see the
The
vision. You know, so
story.
Tandy was giving the story, and so she ends her story, and she's like, "Congratulations to Ty for graduating," and you see, and so we get this whole happy like life, like after everything just ended the way it ended, with her probably going into ambulance, and now we get this happy life with Tandy,
And Ty
Ty,
is a fucking cop.
dad, Ty's mom and dad together, Bayvita, yes,
Evita. Ty's
Ty's
brother.
brother is alive. Ty's dad is, I'm sorry, Tandy's dad is alive, and everyone is together, and we're it's this happy like life and happy family, and it's great because in episode 6 B-sides, um trapped, Tandy is forced to live out to live out alternative water versions of her life until she reveals the key to breaking her. Oh man, this episode is kind of tough because what if versions are always hard, because it's always like when you watch a show like Cloak and Dagger, see all the pain the characters go through, to see a what if version of their life is always difficult. Because again, so now the scene literally opens up from um where the last episode ended. You see Ty coming walking into, everyone is like congratulating him because he's a cop now, and then the doorbell rings. We open the door. Who do we see come in? I forget.
Connors.
Connors, and the family celebrating with Connors, and I'm like, yo. So so two episodes ago we saw Connors as the like we know who Connors is from season 1. We know who Connors is from 2 episodes ago. And now in this what if version, Connors is the good guy, and it's like, oh no, like what? No, this
Stupid.
is not what I want to see. This is dumb. I don't want to see this. And then they're talking and congratulating Ty for being a cop, and I think Tandy and Ty are also talking. No. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a dance? Wasn't there a song was being played? Um, Tandy's mom was trying. Tandy's mom asked Tyrone's brother to dance because Tandy's dad doesn't dance, right? And so they're dancing, right? And so this is the water versions, right? Again, Tandy's actually
This one was
very,
called Perfect Life.
yes, Tandy's very conscious during these versions. Hold on, the episode actually opens up on the beach. Baby Ty and baby
We should
Tandy.
start, first of all, the
Okay, yeah,
Mickey
let's
Mouse
start.
motherfucker in the record store is putting
Yes,
records on, and this one was called Perfect Life, which does
yeah,
show the beach, and like Tandy's dad and Ty's brother comes to get them on the beach, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so scary.
and I
Whoa.
think that's
And then
her family
that's the Perfect
reunion.
Life, and Connors
Yeah,
is Ty's fucking mentor
yes. Ugh.
to Cop Academy. What the fuck?
Ugh.
And then yeah, the dance happens, and that's
And so consciousness starts to break now. So at the dance, Tandy's dad goes to like brush Tandy's mom's hair or grab confetti out of it, and Tandy's like, "No!" And this is how she's breaking consciousness of this what if version.
she
And
doesn't say no. She says no, don't hurt her.
yes,
Which
and
is
then
so
everyone is
awkward
looking
to
like, "Yo, what the hell?"
yell.
Like, yo, it's so embarrassing because I don't know whose face went red, but somebody's face went red, either the mom's face or the dad's face, and not in front of company. Don't do this. And
That was
so we
awkward.
get very awkward. That version breaks. And what was the next version that came? Was the next one Rock's
No,
one?
that's not where it breaks.
What is a break? I'm sorry.
After that, it's just Tandy sitting outside because that shit was
Oh,
awkward.
outside.
So she got
Yeah.
space, and then Ty comes in his hoodie because Bevita spilled champagne on him. But they go for a walk to get some more ice, and so they're talking about their lives. So in this life, what actually happened that night was so the stuff happened.
Tyrone takes Tandy, right?
Tyrone saves Tandy when she's a little girl drowning,
Drowning.
and that's why
Yeah.
they end up on the beach together. And Connors doesn't shoot his brother because Ty saves Tandy and is like, whoa, blah blah blah, I'm not gonna be a dick and kill this boy. And so Ty's brother's still alive. I don't know what happened with Tandy's dad. Maybe he just fucking swam to shore and like ditched his daughter or whatever. But anyway,
That'd be weird.
I don't know what the fuck happened with the dad. But anyways, so Tandy says
Oh,
that Ty saved
yeah.
her life that night. And like
Yeah.
because of that night, like her parents got their shit together and worked
Yeah.
everything out so that it's all good.
Yeah.
And then
Both cool.
yeah, and Ty is saying that Tandy saved her life his life because when he saved her, Connors didn't shoot.
Didn't shoot his brother. Yeah.
And so like she's a ballerina in the New York shit. He's a cop wanting to get justice the right way. And then they go into the store.
Oh man, this was so.
And I'm pretty sure it's the rich guy from first episode.
Yeah, it's from the first episode. So difficult. Walks up to Tandy, says, "Hey, I just want to let you know that you're really hot." He's like, "What do you mean I'm hot?" And then the store clerk says, "I don't know if I want to repeat it. This is what the store clerk says. This is what happens now.
They're taking our women." Did it freeze? Are you frozen? No, you're frozen. That sucks. Is this still going on? You froze.
And I was like, "Oh my!"
You froze.
Am I back?
You're back now, but you froze for like a few seconds as soon as like. So you gotta repeat whatever it was he said.
Okay, so what I was saying is how and that scene, I don't understand how like how do you write that and how do you like say, okay, what makes it even more difficult is in this political climate, you're really gonna go with that line. Like you're really gung-ho gonna write that line and you're gonna go with it and you're gonna say fuck everybody, I don't care how you feel, because this is actually what happens in real life. And you did it, and they nailed it because it shows the tension of what happens in this country. Somehow, some people still, we're in 2019, some people still see things like that as the worst thing that can happen in the world. The clerk is like, yeah, whatever. Oh, you gonna come in and rob my store? And I'm like, oh my god, like
because he has the gun because he just graduated.
It doesn't even stop. It didn't stop at the statement. It just kept going. Like they found new levels of just.
And then he was like, "Let me grab my badge," but Tandy had it.
Yeah, and he's like,
but also he like didn't even fucking hesitate to pull that gun on him.
No, he did not.
Like Ty didn't even like reach for his gun. He was just there.
He was standing there. He's like, "Oh, what you gonna do about it?" Like, and he shot. He shot at Tandy. He missed, and Ty goes to grab her, and they cloak and dagger.
Yeah, they do the little hand explosion thing when they first met.
Everything kind of blows up, and it's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm okay. So, and then he sees
and then
the
it
dagger
turns, and then it turns to the scientist.
Yeah, because he asked her, "What is that?" And as soon as he asked her what that is, you know what is funny? It just makes sense. Everything just makes sense to me right now. So 2 episodes ago, when she's in Dark Dimension, when she's in front of the mirrors, the characters she sees are herself as a ballerina, herself as a scientist, and it follows in line of what happens because she's first a ballerina and now she's a scientist for Roxxon. They're having a conversation with their mom. I think in this particular what if situation, her mom and her mom and the dad are separated. Either that or the dad is dead.
No, her parents separated and her dad moved to Silicon Valley.
Okay.
But because the mom was still friends with Roxxon people, Tandy, as an engineer or scientist, got a job at Roxxon.
Yes. And we haven't seen Mina since episode 3, and we meet Mina again in this episode, and she is evil, like just
She's not evil. She's just not the nicest person.
Is she a female boss? Because she's like, and then the best thing about this episode again, so they tackle racism right in the first thing, and then the second thing they tackle kind of sexism, where Tandy says to Mina, hey, I know you're a female boss and there's a lot of men you work with, and you have to be you have to crush balls out here, but I understand what you're going through, and so I you don't need to talk to me like that. And she's like, whatever, go home, we don't need you here. And
just because you're this daughter of Bowen means jack shit.
Yeah, and it's like, don't stop talking to me like that. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm supposed to be here.
And Ty and his brother is working there as engineers on the rig.
So we have this conversation. Okay, and Tandy asked Ty to take her to the
core
room, core room, so she could see the
pressures and
levels,
heat and shit,
and all that shit, like from season 1, right? From
well, the thing that made it blow
from Hess's dreams, right? Because so this we're revisiting season 1 again, and so they're talking. No, I know they're talking. They're talking about, first of all, they talk about themselves, and Ty's, I'm here because my brother got me the job, and da 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 da. And then they're talking amongst themselves when they see the pressure, and she has an idea of what's going on. And doesn't Mina come right back in the room and starts yelling at them again?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
when they say that the heat is coming up and the pressure, it's not just spiking, it's like going up.
It's climbing up your ladder, your rungs. And she's like, oh, we can't, but we're not going to stop drilling. And Tandy's like, you definitely shouldn't stop drilling, because if you stop drilling,
it's going to blow.
Shit is going to go, some shit is going to go up.
At that point, she sees someone.
Yes, she looks up and she's like, who are you? And Mina's like, who is who? Like, are you crazy? Like, who are you? Like, what are you talking about? I don't remember if in that instance or something happened, and then no, what? Do they flash back? Do they flash anywhere after that, or does
the heat goes up and she doesn't finish her list of why you shouldn't stop drilling, but like that's when like an explosion happens. And that's the alarm goes off and they have to get out, but Mina is like trapped under something.
Oh, yeah.
And Ty and Tandy do touch each other to help, and that's when something explodes.
And
she gets the dagger, and she tries to.
The dagger. She's like, "Oh, I can't get out. How am I gonna get out?" And then she like tries to cut it. And then when she cuts it, they flash to now we see where Tandy really is in the back of the van, and the back of the ambulance, and it's so sad because now we see Leah inject her with
more drugs or whatever the fuck it is.
That was so sad. She injected her with drugs, and then the dagger goes away. So now we only see one person in the back of the truck, in the back of the ambulance with her, and now we cut from there. We go back into the what if scenario, and the next one is she's getting people to sign for. Was it whales, beach whales? It was
shorebirds.
Yes, it was save something. Save the
shorebirds.
And then we meet boyfriend from season 1, Liam. She flirts with him, steals his wallet, runs away. And when she runs away, she sees Ty, who's trying to steal a car. Oh my god, very basic.
with the screwdriver, like his mom does.
Right. So in this version, they're both thieves.
Mm-hmm. His brother got arrested, goes to jail. A stereo thief comes out an addict.
Yes.
Which is sad.
And that's how he knows when he sees her. So they're in the car. She's like, "Oh, she's like, start the car or die, or something." And then he's like, and he's like, who are you? Get out. And she's like, oh, if I don't get, if you want me to get, I'm gonna yell, and the cop is gonna see me, and then she
pulls a knife on him too.
don't care about the cop. And then she pulls the knife, and she's like, and then he starts the car, and they drive off. During the drive, she's scratching her arm, and that's when he notices. Like he's like, all right, like, did you get enough cash? Phoenix fix. And she's like, no, something's wrong. Like that's not like I'm not like in.
Throughout the entire thing, actually, because she sees lights, she hears sirens in each
Yes,
one, and
in
she saw
each
those
one.
ambulance doors.
Yes,
And so there's a part of her that knows none of this is real.
none of this is real. And so in the version that we are now, cops get to chasing Tyrone and her in the car, and she's like, "Do you hear those two?" Like dead ass, yeah, they're behind us. And then she turns around and she sees an ambulance, but Tyrone is seeing cops. He speeds off, he pulls out, and he pulls away. Um, I forget how they flash out of this one because I know at the end of this one she has two daggers. I keep forgetting how they flash out.
Huh.
Or what? How did they touch for her to get her daggers in this one?
This one, I don't remember as well.
Because I know they almost crash.
When? I
When
just watched it.
I know, so did I. So he pulls around right for them to escape,
Yes.
and then the cops roll by them, and
What
wow,
happened?
I think they're driving. They get back on the drive.
No,
And
I remember.
go
She knows
ahead.
their names. She remembers
Yes,
that Liam and Michaela, but like she never knew their name. And so
yes.
she's like, Ty, what the fuck? And he's like, I never told you my name either. And so she's
And
starting to
then
remember, like, this ain't real.
he's distracted. He looks up, and then they almost crash, or something, right?
I don't remember a crash. Maybe it happened. I don't know. And either way, like, she starts to remember that this isn't fucking real.
Really. And then she
And
ends up with two daggers.
yes. And
And
that's what
then
gets her.
flash out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you come back to the real world, and it's like, oh, I have two daggers with me,
And she cuts herself out and out
she's
of
still
there.
not awake. No, she's still not awake. And then turns to the black guy and says, "What's
The black
wrong?
guy,
You
Andre.
gotta put her." Yeah, Andre. And he's like, you gotta put her back under. Like she keeps breaking out. And he goes, everyone has their breaking point. And so when he puts her back under, we go back through all these scenarios again, and she keeps not. Now she's like aware. When we get back to so now we get back to the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Celebration, and it's like
And she's freaking out.
and she's freaking out, and Dad is like, "Where are you going? You're embarrassing us." And she's like, "Yo, don't like." And then they get into an argument, and he says something to her. It's like, "You're
And
just
the
like your mother."
symbols.
Yes.
There was like a symbol that kept repeating in every single one after she started going through it again. And Mickey Mouse guy with his gloves.
Yeah, he keeps changing. He keeps changing records, and he says, and she says to him, "You're just like your mother." They have an argument. Then we flash out of that one. We get back to Roxanne. She yells at Mina at this point.
And
Like,
Mina's saying, your dad is blah, blah, blah. He was nothing. And just like you were nothing and you were not, and you're worthless. And you know this. And like me and Tandy's like, why the fuck do you keep throwing my dad in my face? Like, what the fuck is this?
right.
And so she knows that something's up.
Yes. And then so she flashes out of that one. Now we get back to the street where she's like, well, I'm gonna flirt. And then she's talking to Liam.
And it's all out of order.
Yeah, I'm gonna
like she has the wallet before she steals it.
Yeah. And she runs away. The cops get her, and then now she's like, and then she runs into a building. And then I think she just like flashes, and she has the daggers. She wakes up, cuts herself free, finds Tyrone,
And
tells him
Ty
what's
is like
going on.
worried. Ty's like, I haven't heard from her in days. Where the fuck is she? I checked everywhere. And then he sees Tandy. He's like, oh my gosh, where have you been? And that's when they're like, oh my gosh, yay. We need to help these girls. I know who it is. And they go. And they're going together with O'Reilly. And O'Reilly called for backup, and there's cops. So that they can get these people. And they go inside to get Leah and Andre.
And what's funny is, while O'Reilly called the cops, we're seeing flashing lights.
Well, yeah, because the cops.
But
cops.
But
I definitely got tricked.
This episode was great because it was you see flashing lights, and it's like, oh shit, the cops are here. It's game time. Let's go. And so she finally confronts Andre and finds out. So we get into this building with Andre in it, and Michaela comes in. Michaela, she confronts Andre, I think, in the no.
We forgot the
I
record
skipped some.
store.
So when she flashes into the street and she runs away from the cops, she jumps. When she runs into the alley, she runs into the record store, and then she confronts Andre that way. And she's like, "Oh, you're the one doing this. You're the one in charge of all of this. Is it?" And Andre's like, "Yeah, I had these headaches, and I was gonna kill myself the night of the explosion, and I jumped in the river, in the sea, or whatever, and I should have died, but I came back to life. I should have died, but I came back to life, and now like this is kind of my curse or whatever. I have to." For me to kind of, I have to take away these women's hopes, despair.
He feeds on despair, so he has to put them into despair.
Yeah,
but he's like, I saved 90% of them. I don't do anything with 90% of them. The other 10% though is for me, so that I don't get headaches and pain.
Like that is kind of evil. I mean, it's evil, but it's like, damn, if I had those headaches and those pains, what would I
love do? That his like villain backstory is he had headaches.
Yeah. Migraines.
Like if you've suffered from really bad migraines, you can kind of understand it, even though it's so like it sounds so small.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've had migraines and they're not fun.
Yeah, they're not fun. Like, so I can, like, he said for him, it took him to a point where he just wanted to kill himself. So it's like,
yeah,
those are extreme. But for me, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you had headaches, Advil, Aleve.
I mean, like, there are migraines where like none of those stuff works. Like I get it, but like at the same time, like if you just say, oh, what's his villain backstory? He had migraines, and it was just so bad. And feeding on people's despair gets rid of it. But
I get it.
Like, right? But that's when she takes the dagger out and destroys the record player.
Yes.
And that's when she flashes out and they go meet up and blah blah blah. And then they're at the community center where they get confronted. And it's Tandy and Ty against Leah and Andre.
So yes, it's two of them against two of them. And then Leah actually comes in with Michaela. She's like, hold on, like, Michaela came in early. And I was like, damn, like, so they're not gonna win this. She flings a dagger, distracts, Leah ducks it. Ty cloaks Michaela out, cloaks back in. Cloaks back in, and Andre's like, oh, you thought, you were gonna escape this. Like, you're not gonna escape this. And she's like, I didn't know I had more than, I was alone then. No, Andre says to her, you were always alone. You have nobody. And she turns to Ty and she's like, yo, I have one person. And Andre's like, I figured that. And he turns over and he puts 3 in Tyrone's chest. And when he does that, I'm like, yo, but before he does it, I'm like, he's going to cloak out. He's going to cloak out.
Right? That's all. I'm like, it's fine. He's just going to fucking cloak out. Like he's done every other fucking time he's gotten shot at. Like the cloak does it for him. And it didn't happen.
Took 3 in his chest. And once he takes 3 in his chest and he falls to the floor and she's like on him, I'm like, yeah, she's not out. He found because he said to Leah, everyone has their breaking point, and he tried to use her dad early in the episode. That's when she says to Mina,
why you keep throwing my dad in
my face? Like, that's not what works for me though. And so there is a very, very strong relationship, even though she's not talking to Ty. It doesn't matter because she always, even though they are fighting, like they're beefing with each other, but it's like best friends. It's like you could be mad at your friend, but that's still your friend. Like that's still your one person in the world. And that's exactly her relationship with Ty. And we see that's how Andre breaks her. And it was very sad because now she's like full of despair. And
she's in the dark place. She's just there with Ty's dead body, and she's just, there's no hope in her.
It's just like the girl. Remember when she went in to look at the girl and she saw it dark, and the episode,
that shit was sad.
It was so sad because now and Andre's like, she's ready. I was like, wow.
And it also just ends with her getting taken out of the ambulance into darkness. I mean, like they show a motel sign, but like the actual last scene is just her getting taken into darkness, just like that. Like what Ty saw.
it was so sad, and I'm like, wow, this is like, I think honestly, what I want to come out of this episode, what I want to see for next week is like, I want to see for Tandy, like if she's gonna get a resolution, she's gonna definitely have a resolution. But I want to see her like she's broken now, but I want to see her kind of come out of it.
Well, they'd have. I'd hope
She's
so.
gonna come out of it, but she has to find hope somehow. She has to find her hope.
She's not gonna find hope if she thinks Ty is dead.
Is Ty gonna help her? Like, it was
Yeah,
very
Ty
sad.
has no idea this is
Ty
happening,
has no idea what is going on, and this is
and
so
like Ty
sad.
tried to message her, and then like when they finally did meet, like all she like manipulated him with the Leah thing.
Right, right. So he's
And
still mad at her.
yeah, and there's no way that it's been more than a day. It's been
Right.
only a day at most.
Yes. Yes. So
And you're not gonna
she.
know this after a day when you guys just had a fight.
Yes. Yes. So this is so we, like I said, to me this is the drop down because we're gonna everything from this point on is gonna come back up. Um, it's a drop down for me, not a bad thing per se, but it's like okay, we kind of can't go all action every episode. We have to have like a lot of story, and the past three episodes, the three episodes you just gave you a lot of story, but this one was just very very hard to kind of deal
I
with.
know. I feel like the last three episodes were like low key kind of going down because it starts with Tandy going in. Because like
Yeah,
before this, she was like pretty confident, like we're gonna, and like they were working together too.
yeah.
And then she watches those, she listens to those records, and so
Hmm.
she's emotional and not thinking straight. And then she comes out of that episode releasing Connors of all people
Right,
and not getting Bridget so that she could help the girls. And then Connor and then her and Ty fight. So the fifth, yeah, fifth episode, they're just fighting. And then like towards the
right.
end, they got an even bigger fight, and she's just angry and in a like the lowest point ever. And then this is the episode where like she just broke, like she went.
Yeah, she's done. So yeah, it's kind of like a downfall for her. Um, Ty didn't really do much in this episode
He
except we
wasn't in
just
the
saw,
episode at all.
yeah, but what we saw from her is they coexist. For her to be whole, she has to have Ty. Watching Ty die in that scene, even though it wasn't real, she doesn't know because he's manipulating her. Just broke her. Like that was the final piece for her to break. He I don't know if he knew about the fight with Thurn Time because it never played back in her mind, but did it when they kind of met back up? She was like, I was looking for you. Did she apologize? Was there any sort of thing? Because
I
in
don't
my
think
mind,
she apologized.
yeah, because that's how he would have known for a fact. But it didn't matter. They explained it in the last scene. He was like, yeah, I know, I underestimated it, and he just broke her. And you just saw her like again, Tandy at the start of this episode was very at the start of the season was the most confident character besides um um Connor, besides Bridget, and you just saw her keep going down. So I think she's at the lowest point. I hope that we kind of see a rise for her, or just a rise in the
I mean, I don't know if next episode's going to be that great because she's kidnapped
yes,
and there's no
uh,
point.
man, this
I mean,
is
there's a point for us, but like for her, like she's probably feeling like there's no point.
yeah.
Hopeless, like genuinely hopeless.
This is kind of like a horrible way to end the podcast
It's
because
awful. Like I
we're
really,
both like, wow, this is sad. The
I like
last one was still kind of like very. It's like so hard to pick out things to like be like joyful or hopeful about, but it's like wow, it's like
it's like
what?
we started the scene like, oh, they're gonna be heroes together. Oh my gosh, and they're gonna start working together. Because like even in the first few episodes, they weren't working together, and that's why like they weren't being super effective. But they were working together. But then they had
Yeah,
to fight, and like it's just
wow, but
it's
that's
everything I like about the show though. Like it's put together really fucking well.
right.
Like I have no doubt in my mind that like they before they even like started anything for the show that they like planned it all out. Because like it's just even he used the Vive that was in the first few episodes, and it was just it's just so well put together, and I love it. Even though I'm really fucking sad right now about it.
Yeah, the emotional journey of the show is really is where I think the show like excels like a lot. Like yeah, the action beats are great. Like seeing them, Cloak and Dagger, like using their powers are great. But man, when they get into the emotions, they really take you there. And again,
Especially with the trauma stuff.
Wow, it's again, again the three parts of this episode where you see Tandy kind of from when we go in the car and she's scratching, and Ty's like, "Oh, did you get
The
your money
tiny
from?"
things, the
Yeah,
tiny things, because it's their.
yeah, and then the episode before that is where Mina and her have this whole thing, oh, lady boss, like because I'm a lady boss, I'm gonna, like you, and because of your dad, and then we go to the episode, the thing before that where we're at the convenience store, and that happens, and I'm like, wow, and then to do all of that and still have the emotional beats they have, and have, I really, so that's what I,
Just
like I said,
they do
it's
everything
difficult
so well in terms of story.
in terms of the episode, but it's just in terms of story, the story's fantastic. Like it's well written. The actors are
And
great.
I feel like it's also like really subtle when they do stuff. Like it doesn't super feel in your face, but like
Yeah, it's not like over the top. Yeah.
yeah, like it's super believable. Like when you like go into some redneck's convenience store, like maybe like it won't happen every time, but like you walk in there and you're black and you have a gun, like he didn't even hesitate to pull out that fucking gun on him.
And even though he kept saying he was a cop, the next thing that went into his mind was, "You're coming to rob my store." Like, yo, like relax. Like, I am a cop. I just graduated. And man, and then when we go back into when things start like crashing, when Tandy starts realizing, and then she goes back to again the house party, or the party, Tyrone's party, and she confronts her dad, and then from there she goes back to uh, uh, Roxanne and confronts, and Mina
Nina.
confronts, and then she goes from there, and then we get back to the middle of the street, and it's like, I'm gonna flirt with your boyfriend, and then I'm gonna steal his wallet. Like, it's like, what the hell is like, everything is just, oh my, like, no, it was really well done. Again, ending with despair, like it's like okay, if it's like Infinity War where everyone dies, right?
You talking about
And
like how Patrick wanted it to just be depressing?
yes, this
I
is
hope you're
like,
watching this, Patrick, because you say
I
it
feel
for
like
everything. You want everything to end on its saddest note. But are you
that's
watching
not,
Cloak and Dagger? Are you,
yeah.
bitch? I'm bitter
because
about this.
because this episode right here, like, really, like, it's really tough. It's really tough. So Patrick, if you want everything to end with despair and
Just
darkness,
fucking
and
watch Cloak and Dagger.
this is
Cloak and
this
Dagger
is
won't
the
fail you.
yes, this is the episode for you. And wow, they really brought it with the despair and pain
We have to wait a week.
just, man, we have to wait. You're right. We have to wait a week. So Thursday, the episode comes on, and I believe since we're all free now, because the biggest things that need to happen, Game of Thrones, End Game, Easter, they're gone, and we're back to our regular scheduled program. Hopefully, Keem can join us. I actually do. I'm interested when we come back next week for next week's recap. I actually want to ask Keem about how she felt about this episode. I want to know if she felt, because again, if next week's episode goes on a high, right? On, it's like it's an exciting one. Um, I want to know. It'll be kind of like cheating because she didn't get to feel like this with us.
We didn't get to hear her feelings of just
Yeah,
broken
yeah. So
Tandy.
I almost want next week to be another broken episode in a way, because I want her to feel just how I feel right now. Like, wow, like Tandy on the floor in the dark, crying her eyes out. And the worst part
She's
is,
just like,
so
I can't do this without you.
so first he shoots him in the center, right? And then it goes to the record store, and she has she has a dagger in her hand. And so every time she's always had a dagger in her hand, she's been able to flash out of whatever he does to her.
He takes
And
the dagger from her.
dagger from her. Oh my god! You know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
She probably
Because
won't even be making daggers next
that
episode.
was her last hope. I would look at that dagger as the last hope. Like, it's
He
light.
took the
It's the
dagger
last
from
hope. And
her.
when she goes into the dark room, that would usually be what lights up the dark room. She doesn't have that. And the
No,
episode.
Andre took the dagger from her. I forgot about that part. I was like, what the fuck was that? Why the fuck did he do that? She's ready. Fuck you, Mickey Mouse motherfucker.
Oh man, she has to kill the shit out of Andre. Like, whenever she has the chance, she has to kill the shit out of him. I
The
don't want
thing,
him.
the thing that
Like, I'm
hurts.
okay with her surviving. I don't want him surviving. Period. Because he made me feel bad. Period.
Feel bad, but it's gonna hurt even more because Ty doesn't know what's happening, and Ty has Connors right now.
Right. He still has to deal. Oh my gosh. So I'm guessing next week's episode is probably Ty dealing with his Connor's issue.
And the last thing they said to each other was Ty saying, "Maybe the way you're acting, maybe I don't need you."
Maybe, oh man. And then she realized that she can't do any of it. Oh, well, Brianna, I guess we'll see each other next week. Thank you for coming to do this one with me. And this is kind of a sad way to end this, but Earth 2, thank you for watching. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.